On today's video, we're going to be talking about the Tithe Farm. Big thanks to John Dre on YouTube for the idea. I say let's hit the ground running and start talking about some recommendations for the minigame. Many items are helpful in the encounter, but only a handful are actually explicitly required. I would highly suggest to you guys to get the items that are listed as very helpful. You can definitely work around not having these items, but it will impact your efficiency. I also want to say that level 34 farming is required for the lowest level seed, but I wouldn't try training this way until 54 if you care about experience. If you only care about points and the shop rewards, then 34 is actually okay. One final thing of note is that you will receive a special compost bucket upon entry to the farm. You can drop this right away as it actually isn't used in any of our rotations. Now the best way to get to the Tithe Farm is to use your minigame teleport. This does actually require you to enter the Tithe Farm one time before you're able to use the teleport though. So if this is your first time getting there, some other options include using a House Redirect tablet, a Zarek Talisman Glade teleport, or a Woodcutting Guild teleport on a skills necklace. Now if it's your first time on Karen at all, then you must talk to Vios at Port Sarim and take his boat to the Piscarilius port first. When people talk about the Tithe Farm rotations, the three meta strategies are 20 by 5, 25 by 4, and 20 by 5 tick perfect. For the purposes of this guide, we're just going to talk about the first two options because unless you just received that fresh supply of Adderall, you're probably not going to want to do tick perfect. "20 by 5 is the easiest rotation, and I would recommend learning the mechanics of the Tithe Farm here before you try the next method. What 20 by 5 actually means is that we'll be planting 20 seeds per rotation, and it will take 5 full rotations to complete the 100 seeds we're given at the start. So to begin, we'll plant a seed, water it, and move to the next patch to do the same thing. During this first lap, we will plant 20 of our seeds and then water them immediately after planting them. You're actually able to cut your watering and planting animations short by clicking ahead of the animations actually finishing. Shortening your animations is a mechanic that's imperative if you want to advance to 25 by 4. I would highly recommend practicing it. Anyway, after you do finish planting your 20 seeds and watering them, that will be your first lap. For your next 2 laps, you'll want to return to the beginning and simply water each plant again. The 4th lap is when you can harvest your plants and complete rotation 1. After 4 more full rotations of planting, watering, and harvesting, you can deposit all of your grown fruits into a sack located nearby to collect the experience and the points. You'll have to deposit a minimal of 75 grown fruit to receive reward points for the shop. 25 by 4 is really when things start to heat up. Not only will you need to have mastered animation cancelling, but also efficient tile movement. This is where it can get a little complicated, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible. If your running animation ends with you walking, then your movement was not efficient. You want to have your movement stop with you sprinting essentially. Using tile markers on RuneLite is a great way to easily visualize which tiles to step on, but I am getting ahead of myself a little bit. With this rotation, you'll be responsible for 25 plants instead of just 20. Your window to make mistakes is very tight. On top of that, you'll need the entire farm to yourself because you'll be using the middle patches too. Basically, what you're going to have to do is click on a tile to move, click on your seed to plant it, and then click on your can to water it. You have to do this all the way around with 25 plants as fast as possible. Lap 1 is always the hardest, and it's very easy to misclick or mess up an animation cancel. Laps 2 to 4 are much easier because you just have to click to travel and then you can click directly on the plant to water it, rather than clicking on your bucket first. You can't actually do this on lap 1 because it doesn't cancel your planting animation. Also, you'll probably need to carry more watering cans on you because there's no time to cast humidify during the laps. I honestly could probably make a whole video on explaining the intricacies of this method, so let me know if you guys want to see that and I can probably go more in depth on 25 by 4. Now you might be thinking, dang, that does sound hard, but it must be really worth it, right? According to the wiki, this method increases your efficiency by up to 15%. What this actually means is that you save 6 to 9 minutes per hour using this method. My typical 20 by 5 rotation was 22 minutes, and my best 25 by 4 rotation was 19 minutes 30 seconds. I'm sure I can get that down to 19 minutes with some practice, but it requires a lot of focus and my hands were cramping up quite a bit while I was learning it. Really, it's up to you if you think the 6 to 9 minutes per hour is worth all the hassle. I would say the XP per hour is already pretty decent, reaching over 100k with fast rotations and if you're using the highest level seeds. I just have 2 more things I want to mention. First, we are closing in on 1,000 subs, and I want to make a special video for it, so I'm going to put a small Q&A section in the video I have planned, so if you guys have anything to ask me, then let me know and I'll probably put it in the video. And secondly, if you guys do have any questions for me about Tithe Farm, or RuneScape in general, then feel free to ask. I do always like to help guide people in the right direction. That is it for this one, guys. I hope you all have a very wonderful day, and I will see you on Tuesday for the next video.